Welcome to the 2025 Dialogue, a masterclass series by the HR Association of India. I am Neha Jignani, and today's session centers on a theme that lies at the heart of meaningful leadership. Today's topic is the power of self awareness in leadership. To guide us through this deeply insightful conversation, we have with us Mallika Rao, a high performance leadership coach, mindfulness mentor, and energy psychology expert. Malika has coached over 620 leaders across IT, consulting, sales, and entrepreneurship. Her unique method blends neuroscience, mindfulness, and spiritual psychology to help leaders double productivity, reclaim their energy, and lead with clarity without burnout. Malika, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure having you as always.
Thank you so much for having me here, Neha. And I thank you for the warm welcome as well.
My pleasure, Malika. I look forward to this exciting masterclass today. So, to begin with, my first question, Malika, is in your view, how does self awareness influence how leaders make their decisions or connect with their teams?
Yeah. So I've been in this space, especially in mindfulness and also well-being, and working with leaders as well for the past 16 years now. And I have seen that the landscape has changed big time, and especially in the past 5 to 7 years, if you look at it, it has actually transformed. We're not playing on the same field anymore. So, looking at the context right now, when there is so much of diversity, when there's so much of complexity, so much of pressure, and then there is AI element as well. So, the workplace and the cultures are shifting very fast, very dynamically, even to the point that it's difficult for us to keep up with it and keep up with the change. So, leadership certainly has transformed from the industrial age to where we are right now.
Right.
And I would say it is more challenging now than ever.
Right.
Earlier, leaders used to be the subject matter experts and mentors who have walked the path and who would help their teams to deliver that way. So that's why there is a word manager, right? So now that is shifting. Now, the latest one I'm actually seeing is that a lot of companies are looking to transform their leaders into coaches. So they're no more managing, they are now coaching their teams to perform better.
Right.
And now we're talking about not so much as about productivity, but high performance. That is helping your team come to that peak performance level so that they're able to deliver at their fullest potential.
Right.
Now, when we say all that, the crux of all this becomes awareness. And awareness is not that fancy word of information. I would say it is the foundational for it's a spiritual architecture. Because what you don't know, you can't improve. So I would say awareness in leadership today is not a luxury anymore. It's absolute necessity because in the times of AI and this change, what matters more than your IQ is your socio-emotional quotient and the dynamics there.
Sure. Thank you so much. Beautifully put, Malika. Especially how things have transformed over 5, 6 years now. Manager has now transformed to coaches. It's more like mentoring people to do their best. Awareness, as you rightly said, is a foundation and a necessity and a spiritual architecture, as you said. So thank you so much for putting it together. My next question, Malika, is what are some early signs that a leader is losing self-awareness and how can they recalibrate?
So there are very many. Usually in my burnout series, I talk about 12 different stages people go through and how the awareness actually slips. And because this path of burnout, or rather disconnection, is not sudden, it doesn't happen overnight. It actually silently unravels. And so much so that that 1 degree change you're not able to catch. So by the end of the year, you'd have changed 365 degrees and you didn't see that coming.
Right.
So that's where the biggest challenge is. While there are many, many aspects of it, I will actually boil it down to just three things.
Okay.
One is um, the calm is compromised. That means there is a lot of negative loop, negative thinking. And honestly speaking, there's so much of noise nowadays. There's so much of information overload. There is so much everybody sharing, and you need to keep yourself abreast with the times, technology, and also the people. And now you have remote teams, you have teams from different cultures, different backgrounds, Gen Zs, Gen X, everybody working together. So the complexity is so, so high. So it is obvious where you will experience tremendous pressure and where calm is compromised. When you are not calm, you tend to become more reactive. You are always firefighting and not actually pausing to do the work that is required. For example, leadership, especially the core aspects of leadership are critical thinking, creative problem solving, empathy, understanding, right? Now, these things are governed by the prefrontal cortex. There is a part in your brain which actually helps you achieve or tap into these virtues.
Hmm.
Now, when you are in a stress mode and high pressure and you're reactive, you're in the survival mode. And that is the time where this part of the brain is disconnected. So when the critical thinking is compromised, you can't make clear decisions. You can't see things as they are. You're seeing them through the filters. And when you're reactive in these times as a leader, then the cost is super high. So, number one is calm, that is compromised. You're never at peace. Number two is clarity. Like I said, you're not able to see through things as they are, you're seeing them through filters. So, that compromises the information input and your perspective, your thought process. Your problem solving also gets compromised because of it, because of the data you're allowing or perspectives you're not being open to.
Right.
The third one, I would say, is confidence. Now, I know a lot of people say about confidence of projecting it, faking it till you make it. But authoritative form of leadership is no more in vogue. People have now brought it down to coaching where it is collaborative, right? So where I'm no more the manager to tell you what to do, what not to do.
Right.
I'm more as a collaborator to help you perform at your peak as a leader.
Right.
So when your confidence is fake and it is coming from authoritative perspective, then it comes across as aggressive and it actually can create a lot of chaos within the team. And, coming from HR, you would understand when people leave because of their leaders and managers, it's hard to bring them back. And it's hard to keep the resources, good people, good teams. Forget about building high performing teams. You're not able to bring core team together because of that high attrition. So I would say calm, clarity, and confidence are compromised. And if you actually look at these leaders, because of this repetitive pressure, complexity, and their own reactivity, they start to disconnect from themselves. And that starts to create imposter syndrome. They start to second guess themselves and question their decisions. And when they do that, there's no conviction. And that shows, regardless of what you're saying, your energy shows that. So, awareness is the basis of all these things.
Sure.
It's actually a path to reconnect with yourself and your purpose and your why.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much for breaking it down so beautifully. Calm is compromised, especially when there is so much of noise and complexity around. You tend to lose your peace at this stage. That is a sign that you're losing self-awareness. Second was clarity, not being able to see things clearly. Last but not the least, confidence is shaking. There is aggressiveness that comes out of you. That is a sign that you're losing self-awareness. So thank you so much, Malika. Moving on to the next question, which is how can mindfulness practices help leaders manage their emotions and stay grounded in high pressure environments?
So, like I mentioned, the new advantage for anybody, just not for leaders, any professional out there who want to grow consistently without compromising across all areas of life, their social emotional quotient is most important, right? For IQ, there's AI. There is certain level it is required, but not as it used to be earlier. So when your emotional quotient, well-being actually is such an important aspect of your leadership, then it is imperative to look at tools and techniques and methods and frameworks that actually help you stay grounded and mindful. We are very lucky to be, and if most of your viewers are from India, we are lucky to be born here in India where yoga, mindfulness, meditation, all these things have been very integral part of our culture. Everybody would have heard about it, know something about it when compared to people from other countries. So I would say it's time to go back to your basics and get the basics right. And that's why I believe spirituality is the new leadership edge. Now, when I say spirituality, do not confuse it with religion. They're two different things. Uh, Spirituality is actually knowing who you are, awareness and mindfulness and being connected. That means your mind, body, energy, spirit are all aligned. So, spiritual technology is actually giving you tools and techniques to find your inner alignment.
Right.
When you find your inner alignment, your outer world actually stabilizes, it rearranges itself based on your own spirituality. So, coming to that, one of such tools is mindfulness. Mindfulness is simple art of bringing your mind to the present moment, teaching yourself, your mind, body, and energy, how to be present in that moment. And especially in these times where our attention is being drawn in and pulled in so many different directions, this becomes a powerful tool to learn. So, one of the challenges I'm seeing more and more when I work with leaders and also when I work with corporates, they take, see, even as children, we've been told so many times focus, be attentive, concentrate. But very seldom it is taught in any of these schools or colleges how to focus, how to concentrate, how to pay attention. Mindfulness gives you that framework. So therefore, it's a beautiful concept. It's a bunch of practices. There are fundamentals. There's theory and there's practices and tools and techniques also. Once you learn and integrate it, it becomes your second nature. Then awareness automatically comes. So it's an outcome of mindfulness.
Sure.
It's not the other way.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. Beautifully put. So I think an extension to that, Malika, is routine. If you go deep down, if you have that routine set in your everyday basis, be it for yoga, be it for meditation, be it for mindfulness, it keeps you grounded. The other day, I was talking to a CHRO about managing your emotions and managing yourself in high pressure environments. He said different things might work for different people depending on situations. But he just gave his own example, and I'm just trying to link it here, which is he said, Neha, the first hour in the morning is very important to me. I dedicate it to yoga or meditation or mindfulness on different days. So that's what helps him stay grounded in those high pressure environments. So I could relate to that completely to what you said. And I think routine really plays a huge role in getting that awareness and getting used to that mindfulness and spirituality, as you rightly said. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I'm glad you brought this up. And the first hour of your day is very, very critical. That sets you up for your entire day.
Right,
I would even go one step further and I would say the first 60 seconds from the time you wake up is the most critical. It can make or break. I'll tell you why.
yeah,
A lot of times, many of the leaders I'm working with right now, their mind is always racing. That means it's not able to stay calm so that they can sleep. So they wake up exhausted and their mind is already racing hours ahead into the day, even before they touch their feet on the ground.
right,
Yeah. So your body is not made to go from sleep to high speed. It doesn't shift like that. It can't shift gears like that.
right,
If it does, that it is straight away going into survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, like I said, a lot of critical thinking, decision making, empathy, and such like most important executive functions do not are not functioning. So the first 60 seconds, if you're able to use to calibrate your energy, it sets your nervous system for the day.
right.
So this is how we do it. There is one practice I give it to all my clients. It is the first thing when you wake up in the morning, don't jump out of the bed immediately.
Sure.
If you can, sit down with a backrest and place one hand on your heart and breathe deeply and slowly. I usually recommend 4 to 6 method. That means breathe in for 4 counts,
Yeah,
hold for 2 counts, and exhale for 6 counts. When you do this 3 times, it sets your nervous system. It sends a signal to the nervous system, everything's fine, you're calm, there's no threat. The second thing you do is say, or take 1 minute to be grateful. Say something that you're grateful for. It could be as simple as, I'm thankful I woke up in the morning today. I'm thankful I have a job to go to. Or I'm thankful for a family and their health and happiness. The moment you give anything positive like that, a gratitude, again, it re emphasizes to your system that everything is okay, all is well. The third step of this is saying an affirmation. The affirmation I love and which I believe is very, very powerful is I am safe, I am secure, all is well. When you say this while your hand is on the heart, again, you're sending a direct signal to your body that all is well. By doing this 60 seconds practice, 60 seconds to 3 minutes, up to you, depending on your time, that alone can change your day tremendously
sure, sure,
because you're not going on a survival mode to start the go. You're going it a little slow. If you want to extend it, 1 hour is fantastic. And incorporate meditation in that, breath work in it, and yoga in it, then it becomes your holy hour. And that will take care of the rest of your 23 hours.
sure, sure. Thank you so much. A great example and a great routine, I would say, to start your day with. It keeps you grounded right at the start of the day, and you focus on your purpose. I think with more clarity rather than the kiosk in your mind. You know, with respect to your work or anything. So thank you so much for putting it together, Malika. Um, my next question, Malika, is linked to what we just spoke. In an age of constant noise and distractions, how can leaders create space for reflection and intentional growth? I think a lot of it it's actually related to what you just said, but would love to know your thoughts.
So, yes, there is a lot of noise. So, therefore, your a skill every leader needs to develop nowadays is how to identify and cut the noise.
Okay,
How do how to see what is noise and what actually matters, right? So this is where I think mindfulness is very, very important skill to learn and develop, and it's an acquired skill. when everything else in the world is actually pitted to work against you, right? Um, whether it is your work environments, whether it is the pressures at home or the traffic on the road, everything is working against that harmony. So it becomes important to have some tool or technique, a ritual, like you rightly said, that you do consistently that brings you back to your mind and body, that grounds you and helps you in self awareness. So, like I mentioned, the first hour is a fabulous thing to do. Even so important for leaders. Why? Because most of the people I work with and I talk to, they say that what they're missing in their day is time to think through things. They're jumping into firefighting right from day go. Even before they open their eyes, they're already solving problems, how to fix certain things in their life, at work. So if you have that 1 hour, and even before going to work, if you can actually use that 1 hour to sit down and think things through and plan your day accordingly, that actually will set you up for a good day. Now, coming back to the ritual, I think I already shared with you, which is the first 60 seconds practice is fabulous. Three of the techniques that I enjoy the most as rituals I would recommend to leaders is learn breath work and practice it every day for 10 minutes at least. Number two is learn a meditation technique. And if you can, work with somebody, a teacher, a live teacher who's walked the path and who's practicing it, because there are many meditation techniques out there. How would you know which one is right for you?
Sure.
So it's always good to go with the professionals if you can make it happen. Otherwise, there's so many apps out there.
Yeah.
The third one, which is again scientifically proven too, is walking, walking meditation. It's there, it's one of the Zen practices too. Now, I say early in the morning when you step out, walk barefoot on the ground, at least for 20 minutes. No gadgets, just walk, watch your breath, stay in silence, uninterrupted. So, no friends, no family, you're going by yourself.
Sure.
Now, it does three things. When you walk barefoot, it helps the earth actually removes the negative ions from your body. It reduces inflammation, and there are a lot of health benefits walking barefoot. Second is by not having gadgets. And if you can do this early in the morning, I like to go for my 5 a.m. walks. But if that is too early for y'all, do it first thing in the morning, because when the world is still sleeping, there's quiet and there's still freshness in the nature. When you walk, it actually something opens up in your mind. And unfortunately, a lot of people are constantly consuming a lot of information, right? Whether voluntarily or involuntarily. So when you give that space, 20 minutes of silence to just be, that actually creates some white space in your mind. And that will allow a lot of creativity and other uh, great ideas to come down.
Sure. Thank you so much. I especially like how you started, Malika, which was to identifying the noise and then cut it. How you can do it is very fundamental yet very crucial, is taking your time to think through it. That helps you analyze the noise and cut which is not required. Also, three beautiful techniques for leaders to adopt is learn breath work, learn a meditation techniques. You would recommend people going to professionals to understand their need and type of meditation. Last but not the least, walking meditation makes it very crucial for you to start your day. So thank you so much for that. My last question for this masterclass is looking ahead, what role do you see self-awareness playing, in shaping authentic and purpose-driven leadership?
Like I said, we are moving away from authoritative leadership to collaborative leadership, right?
Yeah.
Um, and when you want to collaborate with someone and help them guide them on their path, it's hard to do it without being in touch with yourself, without being in connection with yourself. So self leadership is the basis of authentic leadership, right? If you can't lead yourself well, it's hard to lead another.
Right.
And no more can you actually force your authority or your thoughts or your influence on people anymore. The workforce right now, it is more through inspiring them, influencing them, and creating that impact. So this is why self-awareness is non-negotiable now. If you are a leader and if you think that you will continue to do the same work again, you are an SME, you understand the frameworks, you will tell people what to do and they will deliver it exactly that way. Um, I believe all the leaders would agree with it. It doesn't work. It's far more complex than it is like that. So for such situations, the best strategy for you is to start chalking out some time, doing some inner work yourself so that you're constantly in that space of self reflection, understanding your triggers, your thinking patterns, your survival patterns, your goals, your purpose. Because if you do not know these things, the world will give you those. And then you will be dictated by those norms, those values, those principles, those goals. And years would have passed by, and you would have said, I've been running this race and still running in circles. And that's where people feel unfulfilled. And when that unfulfilled, that feeling is gets intense, then you go towards that burnout. You start questioning everything. You lose that enthusiasm and energy for your work. And that is palpable. People, your team can see it and they'll unfollow you faster than they're followed.
Sure.
So awareness, therefore, is non-negotiable skill at this moment.
Sure. Thank you so much. That was truly thought-provoking, especially that now the times have changed with technologies, different generations working together, how authoritative leadership has now transformed to collaborative leadership. And if you're not self-aware, you won't be able to collaborate and create space for others to collaborate and align with the goals. So thank you so much, Malika. This brings us to the end of this masterclass. I thank you on behalf of HRAI for such a thoughtful and grounded conversation today. I think you have reminded us that leadership is not merely about direction, it's about that inner alignment, that emotional presence, and that conscious actions that you take as a leader to create a culture. So, thank you so much for that.
My pleasure. So I just want to say one simple words. Leadership, authentic leadership basically means there is emotional intelligence and with alignment. And both of them are impossible without awareness, self-awareness. So in order to become that impactful, influential leader, self-leadership, therefore, becomes your first goal to achieve.
Sure. Thank you so much. Fantastic.
Yeah. Thank
That,
you so much. And I always enjoy these conversations with HRAI, especially when it is conversational like this. Yeah.
yes, it's our pleasure as always to know your insights, Malika, and our listeners also enjoy the insights that they take away from such sessions. So thank you so much for taking out time and sharing your insights today.
My pleasure. Have a
Yes.
wonderful day.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.